Hi everyone, LudosGD here. Today I'm gonna use Magic the Gathering as an excuse to talk about game design, because I love talking about both, so why not doing it at the same time? If you're not familiar with Magic the Gathering, it's a collectible cards game, in the same vein of Pokemon, Hearthstone or Yu-Gi-Oh!, with a fantasy flavoring. Wizards of the Coast releases new cards periodically, and in the latest set, Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths, they released 10 cards with the new Companion ability, which lets you start the game with your companion in its own zone, ready to be played once you build your deck following its restriction. So, why am I telling you all of this? That's because companions quickly became controversial within the Magic community, as there are people who love them with all their heart and people who would execute them like this was the French Revolution or something. You see, some of these companions really took by storm the Magic competitive scene, showing up in a lot of decks and putting up impressive results. This isn't an odd thing, since many sets have their impact on tournaments. The problem, however, is that not only the companions are powerful, but they are also consistent, allowing you to reduce the game's natural variance because they're by your side every single game. This led Mark Rosewater, head designer for Magic the Gathering, to ask a very interesting question. While research and development tries to support both innovation and balance, the two often fight with each other. Which of the two do you personally believe we should prioritize? And oh boy, I was so surprised when the majority voted for balance. So today I wanna tell you why I believe that innovation is, in my opinion, super important, even more important than balance sometimes. First of all, let's make some clarity. For balance, we mean the ability of the game to offer different but equally powerful strategies to win. In Plants vs Zombies, plants have different costs. Weaker plants cost less than the more powerful ones. If there was a plant that was obviously more powerful than the others while costing less, the game would be unbalanced, because the only viable strategy would be using the overpowered plant. This would make the game far less interesting and people would quickly stop playing. So balance is important to keep the game fun and fair. For innovation, we mean the ability of the game to offer unique ways to play it, that will make it stand out from other games and, in the case of games like Magic, older version of itself. For example, Pokemon tried to innovate in many different ways, introducing Mega Evolution in X and Y, Z moves in Sun and Moon, and now Dynamax in Sword and Shield. So innovation is important to keep the game fresh, offering people new experiences and new ways for them to enjoy it. When do balance and innovation fight each other? Well, innovation brings mechanics that are not only new to the players, but also to the designers. This is why playtesting is so important. Trying out the new mechanic is the only way to balance it and offering your players the best experience possible. But sometimes, only sometimes, you have to decide if you want to risk it or playing it safe. No matter the amount of playtesting, the only way to be 100% sure of the validity of your new feature is releasing it into the wild. Why, when having to make this hard decision, I recommend risking it? There are a variety of reasons. 1. Learning. By releasing the mechanic, you can, based on player feedback, understand why it does or doesn't work, and thus you'll understand your game better, and the next time you'll plan on innovating, you'll be able to judge the new feature using new metrics. 2. An angry player base is better than a bored one. Using Magic as an example once again, companions have surely their problems, in particular this kitty, and players have the right to express their feelings and tell wizards why they don't like it. But if the designers were scared of negative feedback, they'd become more and more afraid of releasing new potentially cool mechanics. Imagine if the designers got scared at the negative feedback on double-faced cards. Do you think that they'd be brave enough to release Eldraine Adventure cards? I don't think so. Players get angry because they love the game. If you get scared and start to play too much on the safe side, they'll get bored and they'll stop caring about your game. And you don't want that. The only thing I recommend here is listen to your audience and act when appropriate. This leads me to the next point. 3. It's fixable. Especially with video games, you're able to patch out the unbalanced part of the mechanic once you understand what doesn't work. This will also demonstrate that you listen to your players. I make it sound way easier than it is, because balancing and reacting to player feedback comes with their own set of challenges. But think about it this way. An unbalanced game is way easier to fix than a boring and dull one. For it might actually work. Yeah, as naive as it sounds, sometimes things go well. And not making that potentially problematic but spectacular thing with your game might be much more dangerous than actually making it. I just want to stress one point though, before concluding. Balance is a necessity for a game. Making sure to adjust the numbers of your game to make it fun is a thing you can't pass on. This takes time and a lot of testing that you're absolutely doing with your game, right? So, what's the point I try to make? Be brave, experiment. Try that thing with your game that you know that if it works, it will be awesome. However, be sure to test it at the best of your abilities and be honest with yourself and with your audience if it ends up being problematic. Anyway, that's all the time I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, consider subscribing and leaving a comment. Tell me what you think about this topic. So enjoy, stay safe, and have a wonderful day.